wait for a couple of minutes while we admit the rest of them. Hope you all can hear my voice clearly. So once again, this is Dr. Anita Sargent, your MC for the session. If you wish to claim your certificate for the same, kindly visit our website, which is www.onlinedentistry.in/9 p.m. and register for the same. Online dentistry has been the pioneers in providing dental education via both online and offline platforms. It has been over 14 years that online dentistry have been conducting sessions for the clinical practitioners across the globe. Established in the year 2008, so far we have covered over 203 offline courses and have conducted 1,022 online courses with an enormous amount of more than 30,000 followers on our platform. Let me proudly introduce the CEO of online dentistry, Dr. Pinuti Abraham. He's one of the finest practitioners in town, an orthodontist by profession, a passionate photographer, and he owns his private practice at Kerala Dental Clinic, Aluva. Moving on to the academic head of online dentistry, Professor Dr. Joby Peter. He's currently the HOD of Department of Pediatric Dentistry at Anu Dental College, who preaches the philosophy to catch them young and watch them grow. Over the years, we have grown dynamically, launching 10 centers in different parts of India. On popular demand, we are relaunching our next 3-day series on November 24th, 25th, and 26th at Kochi, and we are open for fresh registrations via our website. The latest addition to our courses, the 1-year comprehensive and advanced master training program on interceptive and myofunctional orthodontics, have been successfully initiated with 2 batches. This is a multidisciplinary approach with intense training and hands-on session. Our program is now a fellowship program on interceptive and myofunctional orthodontics, which is accredited by the Manipal University College, Malaysia, which is also a sister concern of Mahi University. Herein, 2 of the modules will be happening in Malaysia, along with the graduation ceremony and certificate distribution as well. We are a batch full now, completing a record-breaking 15 registrations, and we are awaiting registrations for the 2024 batch via our website. You can always feel free to reach to us on our WhatsApp number or visit us on our website, which is www.onlinedentistry.in, or else you can mail us on onlinedentistry.in@gmail.com. Online dentistry have been conducting series over India for the past 14 years. During the lockdown, we started conducting online sessions to benefit the practitioners, which have been received with great appreciation from the dental fraternity. So in the year 2023, we are relaunching the same by providing free advanced learning series under the title Online Dentistry at 9 p.m. So without further ado, let me move on to introducing the speaker for the day, Dr. Aparna Pandya, MDS rank holder, ADL UK FFA. She is a periodontist and facial aesthetician by profession and also the director of Tedley Polyclinic, Mumbai, currently working as a lecturer of Bapuji Dental College and Hospital. She is also a well-known healthpreneur, philanthropist, international speaker, panelist at several scientific sessions, mentor, and leadership coach. To her credit goes numerous awards, and she's also a social activist, an environmentalist, and have conducted several awareness programs, workshops, and coaching sessions at various schools, colleges, and corporate sectors across the globe. Proudly welcoming the star of the session, ma'am. The session is all yours.
Thank you so much, Anita, for this wonderful introduction. Now, without wasting any time, let's start with the session. Just give me a moment while I share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Ma'am, we were able to see your screen, but it just went off. Could you just try screen sharing once again?
Yeah, one sec. Now, can you see?
Actually, not now, ma'am.
No, ma'am, not yet.
No, not yet. 1 second. Let me try again. Yes, now?
Yes, ma'am, almost there. And yeah,
Yes.
you can go to the full screen. Yes, ma'am, you're good to go.
Yes, so the name of the session is Recalibrate and Reboot. And today we will be covering Yes. So we'll be covering 4 life zones to bounce back: personal reboot, family reboot, practice reboot, wealth reboot. At the end of the session, we'll be also taking up a few questions. And let's start with a video.
There was a wealthy man who had all the comfort and luxuries that anyone could dream for. But there was one problem. This man had everything, but he was tormented by severe pain in his eyes. He consulted many doctors and physicians and tried several treatments, but nothing changed. He still did not give up. He visited every medical expert, trying oral drugs to powerful injections. But not only was the ache not going, it was getting worse and troubling him like never before. Then he heard of a monk who was supposedly an expert in healing people, especially those who had eye disorders. The man went to see the monk, who carefully examined him and, after having understood his problem, assured him that his problem would be completely solved, that soon he could be free from his eye pain if he did just one thing. The desperate man was all ears to know what that one thing was. The monk told him that all he would have to do is, for a couple of weeks, he would have to concentrate his eyes only on green colors and to not allow his eyes to fall on any other colors at all. Hoping that this could be his doorway to a pain-free life, the millionaire decided to give it a try. He hired a bunch of painters who brought along barrels of green paint and painted every object his eye was likely to fall on green. After a few weeks, the monk was passing by the rich man's home and decided to pay him a surprise visit just to check how he was doing. When the monk entered the gates of the luxurious home, the millionaire servants, keen to assist their master in getting rid of his eye pain, ran with the buckets of green paint and poured the paint on the monk's orange dress so that their master wouldn't have to see any other color other than green. Then now, all green and the always evergreen monk laughed hard and said, "If only you would have purchased a pair of green glasses costing no more than a few cents, you could have saved yourself so much hard work and trouble. You could have saved all the money you spent on the paint. You could have saved yourself these walls, the expensive furniture and antiques, and everything else around. Sad that it is all spoiled now." Saying so, the monk left.
So it's all about perspective here, the way you look at things. Sometimes what happens is that we overthink things, and if we had just, and we think at the end of the situation that only if we had just thought it logically, we could have reacted in a different way altogether. So it's all about perspective here. He could have just got a green glasses, but instead he painted the entire, wherever he looks at, he had painted it entirely green. So one important thing that we have to all remember in life is all about perspective. Now we are all familiar with this great icon, Dhoni. Now in an interview, he was asked, how does he keep calm in all difficult situations? You see that MS Dhoni is always calm. Even if the team is winning or if the team is losing, he's always in a steady state of mind. How does he do that? So to that, MS Dhoni replied that he only focuses on the things that matter. He only asks one thing every time: what can be done now? So that's the great difference between legends and the commoner. We are the people who focus on things which could have gone wrong, would have gone wrong, and we never focus on the things that we never focus on the things that actually matter, like what can be done now. So with that, let me introduce the BMS rule to you. So the BMS stands for body, mind, and soul. So we all have only 24 hours in a day. So in this 24 hours, we have to balance our work, we have to balance our life, we have to balance our family, we have to do a lot of things in just 24 hours. So in this 24 hours, Is it too much if I ask you to spare 1 hour to yourself? Just 1 hour. So in this 1 hour, what I want you to do is divide it into parts of 3 of each session containing 20 minutes. So 20 minutes. 20 minutes dedicated to your body. So in this 20 minutes, you can do absolutely any physical activity that you like. It could be playing a game, it could be gymming, it could be skipping, it could be absolutely any physical activity. But the important point over here is consistency. Every single day, 20 minutes to yourself. So this, as you all know, is a banana plant. So can you expect apples to grow on a banana plant? Of course not. So just in the same way, you cannot expect to be healthy if you eat junk food. So once in a while, it might be okay, but not every single day. You are what you eat. If you eat junk, you become junk. If you eat healthy, you become healthy. Now, next 20 minutes, I want you to dedicate completely towards mind. So it's a very popular saying, readers are leaders. It's also a common concept that people think that once you're out of college, learning ends. But learning is a never-ending process. It actually begins once you come out of the college. That's when you see the real world. And that's when you actually have to start understanding and reading. So 20 minutes, any book which you like, you can start reading for 20 minutes. But the point again over here is consistency. Now, we all know Warren Buffett. His very famous quote is, the more you learn, the more you earn. How true is that? Now, gone are those days from when Crow used to drink water by putting stones in the bowl. These days, even crows are using new technology. They're using straws and other. So it's time that we also update ourselves. We have to continuously upgrade our skills. Now, the next and the last 20 minutes, you have to dedicate to your soul. So when I say soul, it could be either meditating or it could be your daily prayers, something to reconnect with yourself. In these days of technology, we're completely disconnected, not only with others, more so with ourselves. So this 20 minutes, I want you to absolutely dedicate to yourself. There's a very common misconception that lonely is the same as alone, but that's not true at all. Lonely is when you are in a party surrounded with hundreds of people and still you feel that you stand alone. Whereas spending time alone can be actually productive. When you can connect with yourself, when you can reconnect with your inner self and explore more about yourself and unleash the inner you. The important thing over here, now you might ask me, I will inculcate BMS rule for next 30 days, but do I see results? The point over here is that results come with time. Just how we have to make our foundation strong to build anything which is sustainable. Similarly, it is very important that we give things time with patience. If you've heard about the Chinese bamboo tree, it's a very interesting plant. So what this plant is about is you have to continuously water, nourish, and take care of this plant for 15 years. You will see not even a sprout. But after that, in the next 15 days, it grows up to 90 feet. So the question really is, did it grow in 15 years or did it grow in 15 days? Of course, it grew in 15 years. So initially, you might not see any result, absolutely nothing, zero. But once you catch the potential, it'll be skyrocketing. Next is family recall. So if there's something that all Corona or anything has taught us, it's that what actually matters is family. Finding time for your family is absolutely crucial in your life. So that's why you have to apply the 40-30-20-10 rule in relationships. You might see that 40% of all your relationships are successful, like with your parents, or it could be a relationship with your siblings, or with your friend, or one of your best friends. So 40% of your relationships, you might see that they are all very successful. 30%, you might need to do that extra effort. If you have to have that good relationship with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you might have to call them, you might have to put in certain efforts. So that is 30% of all your relationships. And then there is 20% of your relationships when no matter what you do not see any results. It's absolute failure. Do not waste your time in that relationships, in which no matter what you do, it's not going to work out. And then there are 10% of relationships, no matter what you do, they end up as your enemy. So that's your 40-30-20-10 rule. So there was a famous sadhu. He said that, you have to write down the names of 50 people in your life. 50 might be a huge number for you, but maybe at least 10 people in your life who actually matter to you. And write down those names, contemplate on it, make sure that you want them on the list. And then what you do is you look at only their positive aspects. See, now, you take any human being, they have both positive aspects as well as negative aspects. But when you stop focusing on the negative aspects, automatically the relationship blossoms. So once you ensure that those names are on the list, then you stop looking at the negative aspects and you only focus on the positive aspects of those people. And that's how you can have a sustainable relationship in your life. It could be a relationship with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your partners, anybody. This works. Now, there are certain people in your life with whom, even if you spend for like 5 or 10 minutes, you feel that you're completely exhausted, emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted. But you might have absolutely done nothing. You guys might be just sitting there and chilling, but you feel so drained after spending time with certain people. These are energy vampires. Completely eliminate those people from your life. They are toxic. Remove all toxic people in your life. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of toxic people in your life who are not encouraging, who are not having any positive vibes, who are not helping you evolve, and completely eliminate them. No second thoughts, just eliminate them from your life. Eliminate them from your life means that you stop contacting them, you stop spending time with them. Anytime they call you, you can have any number of excuses and still not meet them. So completely eliminate energy vampires from your life. So what you can do is that you can have this, you can inculcate affectionate detachment in your life. So what affectionate detachment means is that you can politely say no to those energy vampires and not spend time with them. Now coming to the practice reboot. So how can you reboot your dental practice? So now there was a study which was conducted in Dale Carnegie University, where they saw that when they took so many successful people, they found out that only 15% of success is related to your knowledge and actual things that you learn in your schools and colleges. The rest, 85%, comes from the soft skills, the way you speak, communication skills, leadership skills, technical skills, people skills, analytical skills, critical thinking skills, and your attitude, work attitude, integrity, team player, flexible, courage, humor, all these things. Basically, 85% is about who you are, and 15% is about what you're made. So even in our lives, we might have come across several people who are examples. There might be two friends in the college where they went through the same education, they went through the same books, they learned from the same teachers, and at the end, one became more successful than the other. It's a very common thing that we see in our lives. That you think that this person might not do so well after college, and turns out you were absolutely wrong. They might be 100 times better than the student who was doing really well in college. So where's the difference? What happened after college? What they learned from the college, is it not useful? Let's find out. So what happens is that most of the clinics these days do all the dental procedures. There's absolutely very very rarely it will be that you go to a dental clinic and the dentist tell you that no, we don't do this procedure. Somehow or the other, we see that most of the dental clinics do almost all the procedures. So what we see is that the difference between successful and non-successful people is the lack of vision, a vision to see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Where do you see yourself? That's a huge question that's still unanswered in the majority of the population. So first, find out, where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years or 10 years? Start from 5 years. Okay, so in the masterclass, we will be seeing all these dental business elements in detail, like the vision, operations, ethics and value, time management, how to have a perfect team, customer service, marketing, finance, everything and anything related to your dental clinic. And next important point over here is to be different. So if you see, for example, if I give you 3 bottles of water, same bottles, packaging is same, absolutely everything about it is just the same. But now, one bottle I offer you in a tray, and the rest 2 bottles are kept on the side. And you're very thirsty on a hot summer day, and you ask me for a bottle of water. So which one would you prefer? The bottle on the tray or the bottle which is kept on the side? So now one might say that, I would prefer the one on the tray. But most likely, most of the people would prefer the bottle, even if it's absolutely same as the other bottles, the one which is kept on the tray. Now, what if I offer 1 bottle of water from the fridge and the rest 2 bottles are kept outside? Now, which one would you prefer on a hot summer day? Now you would prefer, it's the same packaging. Everything is the same. Even the water is the same. But now you would prefer the one in the fridge. And now you go to an exquisite hotel, and then with the perfect ambience and great waiters coming around and absolutely nice music. And there, the same bottle of water is kept there for 500 rupees. And you would still be happily paying for it. Now the bottle of water is the same, packaging is the same, absolutely everything about it is the same, except it's kept in an exquisite arrangement. But the same bottle of water, if you get it from a roadside shop, you wouldn't pay a 5 rupees extra to the poor vendor. So that's where the difference lies. It's all about presentation. How you present yourself, how you present your treatment, how you present your success stories, what's the name of your clinic, what's your tagline, how is the waiting area, how is the receptionist greeting your patients. All these are the factors which actually matter to the patient. Patient doesn't know, did you attend your anatomy class? Patient doesn't know if you did well in your dental materials class. Patient doesn't know if your preclinical work is good enough. Patient doesn't know if your handwork is good. He doesn't even know if you passed all the exams. So the point over here is that it's all about what they see. It's said that in the first 3 to 5 seconds, people have a complete judgment of who you are and how you would be. So that's the 5 seconds that you have to capture. Now, what is the most precious commodity in the world? You're right, it's time. Time. The art of time management is the one skill that we never taught anywhere. And it's especially in an Indian scenario, if you are supposed to reach somewhere at 5 o'clock, if you reach at 5:05, you're still on time. That's why it's important to have a skill of time management, how to fit in your schedules, how to balance if you have a lot of appointments on a single day, how to manage them, how to convince the patient, how to convince your family because you might be a little late. So it's all about the art of time management. Okay, so here's where I want to stress on a point. Reasonable time is sometimes enough time. It might be a tricky phrase to understand initially, but this is let me explain how it's relevant. Now this boy is all of us. This boy is what we all have been. We all have been through that phase where the exam is like a 6 months from now, and we are chilling. Then the exam is like a 3 months from now, and we are dusting our books and trying to find which books to read from, probably reading from all the books. And then the exam is like a 2 weeks away, is 2 weeks away, and then suddenly you are finding your seniors, and then you want your seniors to mark the questions, and then a few days from the exams, you are just reading question papers. So this is all of us. And the day before the exam, we are just absorbing knowledge. On the day of the exam, we are probably quick brain. He is a memory expert. So what Parkinson's law states is that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So what this means is that if you have more time, you waste more time. So if you had this, if you have more time, the effort you put in becomes more, but at the same time, the amount of time you waste doing it is also more. So if you have 2 weeks to prepare a seminar, you will initially get all the information, you put it in the PPT and you start working on it, then you beautify it, you still have 5 more days. Oh, okay, let me beautify it a little more. Let me change the background. Let me change the font. Let me change the font size. But if you do it only 2 days before or 3 days before, or depending upon your own personal, abilities, if you need only 2 days, then start it only from 2 days. If you give yourself more time, you tend to waste more time on a thing which can be finished in lesser time. So that's what Parkinson's law states. Another important thing that most of us lack is concentration. We tend to multitask. We are not actually skilled for it, but we try to do it a lot. So when we are working, we are also, we might be doing something, probably browsing important information, and the background there's music playing, or sometimes we are folding the clothes and then there's Netflix going on, or sometimes we are spending time with the family, but then we are also thinking about the appointments we have the next day and the kind of treatment plan we have to get done, or will the dental lab deliver on time. So all these things, multitasking all the time. We never are doing a single thing at a single time, which is why our productivity significantly reduces. Communication system, which should actually be serving us, is kind of becoming an intrusion device. So this is all of us. We might be dozing off, browsing, we might be Instagramming, and then you just sleep off and the mobile falls on your head. And this is again us on the dining table. We are all sitting together for dinner, but everybody is on their own phones. Now, of course, everybody knows Sachin Tendulkar. He is the god of cricket. Now, he never checks his phone before he practices 500 balls every single day. So an interviewer had asked him once, okay, Sachinji, how come, are you not curious to know that what, you might have won a century the previous day, and, there'll be reporters writing good things about you, or sometimes you did not perform well, and then, there'll be news about you. Aren't you eager to know what they have written about you in the morning? So Sachin said that if I waste time to check my social media, then I will not be able to reach where I want to reach. That's a huge statement. Great personality like Sachin Tendulkar does not waste time on social media to check about himself. And there's you and me who is checking about other people on social media. Even clear leadership skills. So this is also a detailed part of this will be dealt with in the masterclass. So there's something called clear leadership. It stands for core values, live by example, empower, accountability, and results. So these are the core skills that you require to excel in your dental practice. One of which is a very critical one, communication skill. One would say that it is one of the most important skill that you need as a dentist, more than your dental skills. If you have good communication skills, you are going to reach really far, really far. Let me explain through an example.
Finally, Tanya was very excited to meet his dream boy David on their first date, and David was also too thrilled to meet Tanya. They decided to meet at 10 at a coffee shop near their house the next day, and David was there exactly on time. He called up Tanya to inform her that he had reached, but she didn't pick up. He waited 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and kept calling, but she didn't pick up. He got very depressed and at the same time angry. On the other side, Tanya was peacefully sleeping, and finally she woke up at 10:30. The first thing she did was checked her mobile. She saw David's missed calls and was puzzled to see 13 missed calls in the morning and called him up immediately. He was too irritated and started shouting at her that where was she and he had been waiting since last half an hour. Well, what was the confusion all about? Let's rewind it again and see. When both spoke to meet at 10, Tanya assumed that it would be PM and David assumed it would be AM, and none of them confirmed about the same. They both started arguing and blaming one another. Tanya says, "Who wakes up so early on Sunday?" And David says, "Who has coffee at 10 in the night?" So as you saw, just an AM PM caused so much of an issue because their communication wasn't clear. So I hope.
So that's where communication can be so crucial in your dental practice. To convince your patient, to talk to your patient, to talk to your patient relatives. Sometimes you have to talk to the patient's known dentists to convince. It's very crucial to have a great communication skill. I cannot stress the importance of communication skill, not only to convince your patient, but also to deal with your dental staff, your assistant, your receptionist, the other consultants who might be coming to your clinic, or other dentists who work with you. So the elements of personal communication, like I said, only 55%, the major portion is 55% of it is your body language, 38% is your tone, and 7% is spoken words. So we're not going to go into detail of this right now. It will all be dealt in the masterclass, but it's important for you to notice that about 55%, which is the major portion, is your body language. Of course, your tone also matters. You can say the same sentence in two different ways, and it'll sound absolutely different. It'll be sounding hell and heaven different. So tone is very important, and only a very small percent matters what you said. It's all about how you said it. Okay, so this is the CEO of Coca-Cola brand, Brian Dyson. So in his theory, he says that entire life is like there are five, can be considered as 5 balls. The first ball is your work, second ball is your family, third ball is your friends, fourth ball is your health, and fifth ball is your love. All the balls are of the same size, but only one ball is rubber, except that all the 4 balls are glass. The first ball is work. If you throw it, it'll bounce back. So even if you have ups and downs, it can be bounced back. But the rest of the thing which actually matters in your life, if you throw it, it breaks. That's why it's important to have a perfect work-life balance. Wealth reboot. Now we all have this dream car and this dream house and this dream vacation that we all want to go on. So what are we actually doing about it? Okay.
As a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their leg. No chains, no cages. It was obvious that the elephants could, at any time, break away from their bonds, but for some reason they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. Well, trainer said, when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at that age, it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe that they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. The man was amazed. These animals could at any time break free from their bonds, but because they believed they couldn't, they were stuck right where they were. As a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact as a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped.
One second, I'm having some technical difficulty. All right. Let me share my screen back. Okay, so like we saw in the story of the elephant, where the baby elephant is tied, and since it's tied in a very small age, it kind of believes that it will not be able to break free. Similarly, it's actually a taboo in Indian families to talk about money and to talk about how things work and how the finance works. We hardly talk about it with our family. And that is probably why most of us have no clue of where the money is coming and how the money is spent and how the money is going. So this taboo has to be stopped. We should be more open with our finances at home. We should share it with our friend. We should share with our kids and give them a financial education right at the early age. Because there is absolutely no manual about how exactly you have to manage your money. It varies from person to person, family to family, culture to culture, society to society. So it's very important to logically help your kids grow through financial development. So there are two aspects over here, assets and liabilities. So certain things are assets and certain things are liabilities. Having a proper knowledge of what's an asset and investing in those things are actually going to help you, rather than collecting and having a bunch of liabilities in your life, like things, there might be certain things, certain liabilities that are inevitable, that comes with you, but otherwise growing into the liabilities is absolutely undesirable. And having an awareness of what's an asset and what's a liability is very crucial. Make a financial plan. Have a system where you have proper knowledge about the incomes that you have, the sources of incomes that you have. It could be a maturing FD or a PPF, Absolutely, it could be certain stocks which gives you dividends. It could be your dental practice or any other sources of passive or active incomes that you have in your family. Have a clear idea or picture of it. Have a a proper streamline all your sources of income, and have a proper in and out statement wherein you know where your cash inflow is coming from and where the cash outflow, so that sometimes you can juggle these multiple sources of income and invest in a better way. So Rome was not built in a day. You might say that like I've started investing but I don't see any results. Rome was built every day. With proper planning, and perseverance. That's how Rome was built. And if you take that baby steps right now, in another 15 to 20 years, you will see significant difference. So whenever you handle your money, you can always try to use the 50-30-20 rule. So the 50% of your entire income should go into needs, like the basic needs like food, and if you have any rent or any transportation, petrol. So these basic needs, 50% of your income can be dedicated to. 30% is for those things that you want. You wanted that beautiful dress, or you wanted that new phone. So that wants. 30% goes to wants. And compulsorily, you should make sure that you invest 20% of your entire income in savings and investments. So traditionally, we tend to have a mentality of saving, having a savings account, fixed account, gold, real estate. Not that they are not good, not that they are bad, but we have to be a little more creative so that we can have better returns. And absolutely important thing, one important thing that Corona has taught us is having a contingency fund or an emergency fund in case something happens. There should be some amount of liquid cash that you can access to. So if everything is invested here and there, if you have an emergency, where do you run? So that's where the contingency fund comes in. You have to ensure that you have certain fund which is easily liquidable. So once there was this man, he had total faith in God, and he used to live in this huge house. So once there was a huge flood in his city, and everything was drowning. So people were running away from the city, and they were trying to help themselves, and they were trying to escape to a better, sustainable locality. But this man had huge faith in God. So he said that God will protect me. So he did not do anything about it. So a jeep came, a rescue team came in jeep and asked him, "Oh, please come, let us help you out because the water is filling up the city. So let's escape. It's a huge flood. It seems like it's going to get worse." So the man said, "No, I have huge faith in God, and God is going to protect me. I'm not worried at all. Please, you go, no problem." Then the water increased. Water level kept on increasing, and now people started coming, rescue teams started coming, and boats and other waterways, and now and asked him, "Please come, let us help you." So he said, "No, I really believe in God, and God will protect me, don't worry." So from his ground floor, he moved to his first floor because of the water level. Now because even water level was not possible, the rescue team started coming on helicopters. And now he was standing on the terrace because the water level rose so much till his second floor. So, and asked him, "Please come, let us help you." So he said, "No, I believe in God, God will help you." So saying so, he kept on waiting, and then the water kept on increasing, and he finally drowned and he died. Now he reached heaven, and he was really angry with God. He was very upset with God because he had total faith in God that God will protect him. And he told, "Why didn't you protect me? I was expecting you to help me and you to protect me, but you let me die. Why so?" So to that, God said that I had sent so many sources, so many help for you, but you were not ready to see it and accept it. I had sent a jeep to save you. I had sent a boat to save you. I had sent a helicopter to save you, but you were not ready to accept it. So I can only tell you to do, start implementing BMS, start having a proper financial management, and inculcate certain creative aspects in your practice. I can only tell you, but it's you who have to take the first step towards it. So this is what we will be dealing with in our masterclass. We will be seeing the 5 practical techniques in BMS, strategies of efficient time management for a successful yet stress-free practice, 5 practice blueprint to conquer time and multiply productivity, roadmap of the best dental communication and team building, family time, even during busy schedules, work no more, lessons not taught in dental schools about being successful, 5 rules to transfer yourself into the best closer, money IQ versus money EQ, money making machine, and brainwashing system. You can have it all in our masterclass. Thank you so much. Dr. Anita, can we take up questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Now you guys can post your queries in the chat box. So I'll be reading out the questions.
Yes, sure.
I think we are too early. That's the reason. A chat box.
Or maybe it was too clear.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, I think they'll send us personal messages and we'll connect to you, ma'am.
Yes,
So thank you, ma'am, for being with Online Dentistry. And here we come to the end of the session. So stay tuned till the next second Wednesday for another punching session with another faculty. Thank you, ma'am. Good night, all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.